Hello friends. If a country is fortunate to have a favorable location, with access to important trade routes, it will have great economic development prospects. And once that country has a problem, it will affect the trade of many other countries, even leading to a global economic crisis. Such countries are called strategically located. Now, we will go to learn about such strategic countries, among the best in the world. First, is Panama, the luckiest country, having owned the Panama Canal, which connects the Pacific Ocean with the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. It helps the country get a steady source of revenue, about $2 billion a year. On average, more than 13,000 oil and cargo tankers pass through the canal every year. And every day, more than 950,000 barrels of crude oil are transported through here. Therefore, it is an important component of international trade routes. It is estimated that 6% of global trade passes through the Panama Canal. For the United States, this is an extremely important route, because up to 3/4 of imports from Asia are transported here. They are also the country that uses the canal the most, with about 70% of all goods passing through the canal. In addition, the Panama Canal also helps the U.S. Navy develop power, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. That is also why, the United States tried to take control of the canal, from its completion in 1914 to 1999, before handing it over to Panama. The country with the next strategic location is Iran, which is bordered by the Gulf of 34, the Gulf of Oman and the Caspian Sea. It is nicknamed the crossroads of the world, an important link with the Central Asian republics, South Asia and the Caucasus region. The Strait of Hormuz, located between Oman and Iran, is the world's most important oil transit route, with more than 20 million barrels a day, in 2018. Equivalent to about 30% of all crude oil traded by sea, globally. And 20% of U.S. oil consumption. Crude oil flows through this strait, originate mainly from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Iran and Iraq. For the US and Europe, once oil supplies drop and prices spike, it's an instant disaster. And could lead to an economic crisis, if the situation persists. So Iran now holds hard power, in the Strait of Hormuz. In fact, they used it by threatening to shut down, in 2012. When the West launched sanctions, with the country's nuclear promotion program. To protect the strait, and increase its strength against external threats, Iran maintains strong ties with Turkey and Syria. At the same time, provide economic and military assistance to Shiite Muslims in Lebanon, Bahrain and Iraq. The next country is Egypt, which controls the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean in the Atlantic Ocean and the Red Sea in the Indian Ocean. It is the shortest sea route, to transport goods from Europe to Asia, and vice versa. On average, each year, about 18,250 cargo ships pass through here, which helps Egypt have a stable income, about more than $5 billion a year, 2.5 times more than Panama. An estimated 10% of all international trade passes through Egypt's Suez Canal. And 80% of crude oil exports from suppliers in the Persian Gulf to Europe pass through the Suez Canal. In the event that the Suez Canal is blocked, due to an accident or war, ships must use an alternative sea route, which is to pass through the Cape of Good Hope, which is both time-consuming and costly, and very dangerous. Therefore, Egypt plays an important role in protecting the canal, as well as ensuring trade between Europe and Asia. It has to maintain a complicated relationship with Israel while maintaining good relations with the Gulf states, Iran and the West. That is also the reason Egypt is very focused on investment in defense. Currently, it is the 9th country in the world in terms of military strength. The countries are strategically located, followed by Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia. Located near the Strait of Malacca, connecting the Indian Ocean with the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean. It is one of the busiest straits in the world, and is frequently congested. With about 100,000 ships passing through each year, and accounting for a quarter of the world's maritime trade. The Strait of Malacca is an important route for transporting crude oil from the Middle East and Africa to China, Japan, and South Korea. These three economic powerhouses use a lot of oil. An estimated 80% of total crude oil, transported through the South China Sea, goes to these three countries. In the event of congestion, accident or war, vessels will be diverted to the Lombok or Sunda Straits. However, the rerouting will increase transportation costs, and affect world oil prices. Therefore, maintaining security for the strait area is very important. However, the navies of Singapore, Malaysia and Indonesia are said to have not done this well. When often hear to happen armed pirates, very dangerous. According to statistics, the Strait of Malacca accounts for 1/3 of all piracy in the world. It scared a lot of sailors, but still had to make it through. Thus, we have just finished studying the 6 countries with the most strategic locations in the world. There are a few other countries, but we'll talk about it in a later video. Video ends here. Thank you all for watching and liking it. If you find the video useful, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Goodbye and see you again.